They asked you for something. You already knew you wanted to say no, but you imagined their disappointment, the silent treatment, maybe even their anger. So you said yes anyway. If saying no makes you feel guilty or afraid of what happens after you say it, this film is about why that happens and how to stop treating their reaction like proof that your no was wrong. Maybe you were tired. Maybe you already had other plans. Maybe you just didn't want to do it. But then you imagine their face, their disappointment, the awkward silence, the possibility that they might think you were selfish. So you said sure. And almost immediately you wished you hadn't. Now you're irritated. Maybe with them, but mostly with yourself. Because once again, you said yes when everything inside you was screaming no. And that can become a strange cycle. Somebody asks, you hesitate. You might even freeze. You think about what they might feel. And you ignore how you feel. So you say yes. Then you immediately resent the thing you agreed to. And after all of that, you feel guilty for being resentful. So eventually you start wondering, why is saying no so hard for me? Sometimes it isn't the word no that feels difficult. It's what you believe might happen after you say it. Will they be mad? Will they think differently about me? Will they stop asking? Will they call me selfish? Will they be disappointed? And sometimes the fear goes even deeper than that. Sometimes you already know what may happen if you say no. They might get quiet, stop talking to you. Suddenly they're cold. They're shorter with you when you talk to them. Maybe they act offended. They may pull away. Maybe the warmth disappears. You don't get the hugs anymore. Maybe respect suddenly feels conditional. And after enough of those moments, you stop asking, what do I want? You start asking, what will happen if I say no? That changes things. Because now saying yes may not feel like kindness anymore. It may feel like protection. Protection from the tension, from anger, silence, or being treated differently. From wondering whether your no somehow made you difficult, or selfish, or unlovable. But someone else's reaction to your boundary does not prove that your boundary was wrong. Someone can be disappointed, and you can still be right about what you need. Someone can wish you had said yes, but your no can still be honest. They can dislike your answer without your answer appearing cruel. And here's the part that I want you to notice. Now pay attention. If you say yes because you're afraid of what will happen if you say no, you still have a no. You just turned it against yourself. You carried the disappointment so they wouldn't have to. You changed your answer so they wouldn't have to change their expectations. And after enough of those moments, then you become dependable to everyone else and increasingly unavailable to yourself. So, the next time you want to say no, you don't have to become fearless. You don't have to stop caring how they feel. It's not about that. Just stop for a minute before you answer and ask yourself, what would I say if I didn't have to manage their reaction? Maybe the answer is yes. And if it is, great. But maybe the answer is no. And if it is, you don't need a 5-minute explanation. You don't need a courtroom defense. And you don't need a reason everyone agrees with. Because sometimes, I can't do that is enough. And if guilt arrives afterward, okay, let it come. You don't have to obey it. Because feeling guilty does not automatically mean you're guilty. Sometimes it simply means you chose yourself in a place where you usually abandon yourself. You're a whole lot of rival. Don't let people take parts of you for themselves and give you nothing in return. Your needs get a vote too. And you're allowed to disappoint someone without betraying yourself.